Hi everyone, my name is Angela from Angela Stitches and welcome to my channel. So today I'm gonna work on my evergreen angel and try to get this arm finished. And my goal was to finish this project by end of this month, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna just work on this as much as I can or want to and not really stress about finishing one of these paper projects every month. But I'm still going to add these into my whip rotation, so at least I'm working on them. And then this is why I can't focus on Evergreen Angel, because I'm gonna set up my Knightmare by Courtney Collection and I really want to work on this. I'm super excited to work on this. So yeah, if I can, I'll probably try to work on both, but I'm mainly gonna focus on Evergreen Angel. So I'll see you in a little bit. So this is my progress from last night. So I worked on this arm and I just really love these colors. Sometimes I get bored working with the same color scheme, but with this project, I just love stitching these greens. And I think part of it is because I like the contrast between the brown paper and the green. It's just really satisfying seeing the colors on top of this brown paper. So yeah, that's all I worked on Evergreen Angel last night. And I didn't get to work on Knightmare, but I'm gonna do that right now. So let me set that up on my QSnap and come back. And I'm gonna show you what I'm starting with. So I'm ready to start on my Knightmare by Courtney Collection. So this is what it looks like. And I always make sure I have this in the right orientation by looking at this hinge section. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start stitching from the top section and move upwards because I think that's how the chart is divided. And also try to get rid of these tails that I have here. And I think everyone knows by now, but just in case you're new, this is on a color and cotton fabric called patina and 40 count, and I'm stitching 1/2 with Silks for You silk. So I've only worked on this for an hour, and I did this section across here, and I just really love working on this. The chart is really easy to follow, and because I'm working with just one color, I think I stitch a lot faster. And I love working with Silks for You silk. It's so soft, and it's just really nice to work with. And the coverage is really nice too. So yeah, I think I'll continue and work around the hinge this way tomorrow, and I really want to get a lot of progress done on this, so I'll be doing that. And a little bit about books. So my goal for this year is to reread Harry Potter, and I just got my books out of storage, and all of the books are in different cover series because I got them as they were being published, or what was available at the bookstore wherever I was at the time. So I think I got the first 3 books in Korea, I think, and then I got the rest when I was in the States, or 1 or 2 of them while I was back in Korea to visit or something. So I was just getting them without really thinking about how they look all together. But it would be really nice to get the whole set with the same covers one day. And I noticed that the 4th book, The Goblet of Fire, is missing. And I think I lent it to someone in college and never got it back. And also Chamber of Secrets, but I replaced that one with the new cover, so I have that. But I'm gonna get the 4th book too, so that I could read it this year. But I'm gonna start with the first book, and I've read this so many times, it's all torn up. And it has the old book smell that I really like. Is that weird? But I just love reading physical books. I tried reading on my iPad or on my phone, but I just like to hold a physical book to read. But yeah, my favorite I think is the Half-Blood Prince, the 5th book. It used to be the Chamber of Secrets, but I really like the Half-Blood Prince. So I can't wait to get to that one. But let me know which one's your favorite if you ever read the Harry Potter series. I think everyone has a different favorite, and I think that's really interesting. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start reading this tonight, and tomorrow I'm gonna continue with Knightmare, so I'll see you tomorrow. So I just worked on Knightmare again, and I think I could work on this all day, but I need to do some other work too, so I'm gonna stop here. But I did another row here on top and came down this way and did that. So it still doesn't look like anything, but with a project like this, you're really not gonna see anything, any real image until it's almost finished. So yeah, if I have time later, I'll come back and work on this a little bit more. And I have my threads like this right now. So this is a wooden bobbin that I got, and I like this because it's large and it creates less folds to the silk, and I wind it up very loosely. And let me show you the silk again because it's really pretty. But I didn't have any needle minders to go with this color or with this project, and I really like these colors, so I'm working on a needle minder, and it'll be like this one where I could also keep my threads. So I'm calling these thread keeper needle minders. So I'm designing one to put on my Knightmare, but I was trying to keep the colors similar to the silk that I'm using, but I think it'll end up a little bit brighter than what I was trying to do. So I don't know, maybe I'll try a couple of different color schemes, but you'll probably see those in my next video. And earlier today I went to check on my garden, and my dad and I planted some sweet pumpkins on the right, and those came out first, and then we also planted some cucumbers, sesame, and red lettuce, and I think that's it. So it's really fun to see them grow every day, and I didn't water them this weekend because it rained a lot, but it's pretty sunny today, so I'm gonna go back later and check if I need to water them. But my dad knows more about gardening than I do, so I just do whatever he tells me to do. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we're planning on planting more things in the other section of the garden. So yeah. So if I get more stitching time later, I'll come back and check in to show you my progress. So I didn't get to work on Knightmare last night, but I worked on it today and also just a little bit on my Evergreen Angel. And I'm also at the studio all day, so I'm not getting that much stitching time anymore, but I try to at least stitch for an hour. So I worked on 2 projects today, so I worked on 30 minutes each. And I feel like I made the most out of those 30 minutes, or an hour actually. So for Knightmare, I worked on this bottom section. And I actually really wanted to take a day off and just hang out and watch Netflix and stitch all day, but I don't know, I just really like my studio and my little garden and the cats. And I didn't get to see the cats today, but I left food out in a bowl yesterday before I left, and when I went this morning, all the food had gone, so they might come more often now because of the food. I don't know. So if they do, I'll try to make a video and show you. But yeah, so I'm spending a lot of time there, and obviously that's going to cut my stitching time, and I don't like to bring stitchy stuff there because I don't know, I just want to keep work and my hobby separate. And if I bring my projects to the studio, then I'll probably just be stitching all day because I have no self-control over cross-stitching. So, and then there will be no point of me having a separate workplace. So I'm not stitching as much as I did before, but I still try to make time to stitch. So yeah, but let me show you what section I'm working on because I know this really doesn't look like anything. So I'm about right here, and I'm still on my first page. I think this is divided into 12 pages, I think. So by page, I'm on page 7, but it's the first page I'm working on. And when I first started this project, I thought finishing page 1 would only take a couple of days. And in one of my videos, I think I said I was gonna finish page 1 in, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, I think, but that's not happening. And I think I also said the same thing about my Life After Death project too. So I really did underestimate these projects. And it always takes a lot longer than you expected it to, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna keep this in my rotation because I'm still really enjoying this. And I usually change projects if I get bored, but yeah, but most of the time it's when I really want to work on something else. So right now nothing has come up that I really, really want to work on. So I'm keeping this in my rotation. And then I also worked on just a little bit on my Evergreen Angel right before this. Just this light green section here. There's a bit more to do on this side, but after that I'll go and do this side with the same green and do that. And then after that I'll fill in the middle section because that's just solid stitching. And I think the back stitching is going to do all the work to make her just beautiful. So yeah, that's all I worked on Evergreen Angel. And I didn't get to work on my unicorn at all in this video, I think, but I still want to work on it, so I'm keeping this in my rotation. And to be honest, I really just like using my thread keeper, and it's kind of like my excuse to work on this project. Um, so yeah, but I just really like using this. And also I don't have any projects that's in this color scheme, like a pastel project in my whips. So it's really nice to work on this after something like Knightmare because the colors are so different. So yeah, I'm still going to work on these 3 projects or try to work on these 3 projects, but I also just checked the Linen and Threads website for part 7 for the mystery cell, and it was already up, so I printed it out. But let me show you my progress on this project first. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count white linen, and I'm using Valdani. And I'm stitching this 1/2, so this is going to be quite big. And I actually wanted to stitch this on a 40 count, but this is all I had. And the Valdani works really well on 32 count, or at least the size that I have. So this is my progress up till part 6, and I know you can't see the whole thing in the screen here, but let me show you part 7. So this is what part 7 looks like for July, and it has a bird and this small motif. And it's a pretty small section compared to the other parts. So I feel like this isn't going to take as long as June's part, but I think I say that almost every month, so I don't really know, but it looks a lot less stitches. So I'm gonna work on this day after tomorrow because I know tomorrow is July 1st, but I want to work on Knightmare another day and then work on this because I only have 1 Q-snap, so I need this Q-snap to work on my mystery cell. So I'm gonna start working on my Mystery Cell on July 2nd, and after I finish part 7, I'll come back to Knightmare. So that's all the Stitchy stuff and books. I actually started an audiobook, but before that, I read a little bit more of the Sorcerer's Stone, and I've actually watched the movie more times than I've read the books. So it's kind of nice reading the book again because there were things that wasn't in the movie, a lot of things, so I forgot about those details. And I know it gets worse as the book progresses to book 2, 3, and 4, and so on. Especially, I can't remember what Hermione called it, but the whole thing was not in the movie, but it was what Hermione started doing after or during book 2, I think. It was like a organization for house elves for their rights or something because they were being treated horribly, but things like that. I only remember a couple of things that weren't in the movie, like the house elves thing, and also there was one potion test at the end of the Sorcerer's Stone that Hermione was able to finish right before they meet Voldemort. So I'm really excited to read and see what else was in the book that I've forgotten about. Because all I remember is what I saw in the movie now, because it's been so long since I've read this book. So I'm gonna continue with this, and I've also started another book, but it's an audiobook, so I don't have the physical copy of the book. But I was listening to it yesterday and today while I was working at the studio, and it's called The Ghostwriter by John Harwood, I think. And it was a book recommended by one of the Stitchers on YouTube, but I can't remember who, because it was a while back when I saw that video. So if you know, let me know in the comments. But she said it was really good, and I forget what she said about the book, but it was always in my mind to read it because the way she explained it really caught my attention. So I finally decided to just get the audiobook, and it's really interesting so far. I really like it because it's like a story within a story, and so far I'm not 100% sure what's happening because it's all very mysterious, and it's really interesting because I think it's set in modern times because they're talking about emailing each other, but it feels like an old almost like a Victorian ghost story. I'm not even sure if that's the right term for it, but like the ghostly elements, like woman in black veil and things like that. But also the tone of the narrator adds to that bit of spookiness, I guess. And I really like that so far. Very mysterious, and I feel like I'm listening to an old ghost story, which basically what this book is about. So if you're interested in this type of stuff, check that out. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to share in this video. So I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you so much for watching and commenting. And oh, so I was going to announce the winner or choose a winner in this video, but it's still June 30th, even though I don't think anybody else is going to enter the giveaway anymore. But I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to choose a winner. So I'll announce the winner in my next video. So yeah, I think that's really it. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!